There's not a fucking chance in hell that Jake Paul would survive. Jake Paul's dead. He's dead. He's not gonna make it. If I was Jake Paul right now, I would be shitting my pants.
Oh, bro, if I'm fighting this guy.
Joe Rogan came down hard on Jake Paul for canceling the Gervonta Davis fight, and it wasn't gentle. He ripped into Paul's ego, calling the decision reckless, embarrassing, and a total disaster. The fallout blasted through social media, combat sports circles, and Netflix itself, turning what was supposed to be a massive event into a public disaster zone.
My God.
For sure.
It looked like death. Death.
Rogan didn't warm up or tiptoe into the topic. The moment the cancellation hit the news, he went straight for Jake Paul's throat. No build-up, no diplomacy, just a full-force verbal dismantling. He slammed Jake for creating a mess through his own poor decisions, calling the move reckless, humiliating, and a disaster born from sheer stupidity.
That's the fight.
That's gonna be a big fight.
Big fight.
Yeah.
You could hear decades of respect for combat sports fueling every word as Rogan unloaded. He accused Jake of playing reckless games with real killers like Gervonta Tank Davis and then pretending to be shocked when everything blew apart.
That's a scary one for fighters too, because things like there's something about fighters are adrenaline junkies that like to be pumped up, and yeah.
But Rogan's blast was only the beginning. The second shockwave hit the boxing world on November 3rd, the day everything officially collapsed. Most valuable promotions dropped the cancellation announcement with the subtlety of a grenade. The hype machine was roaring, momentum was high, and then suddenly, silence.
They're all fucking
They've
crazy.
all done weird shit.
They're fucking crazy.
Jake's team couldn't even spin it. They had to admit the truth. The legal bomb under Davis turned the entire event radioactive. And once people processed it, the backlash erupted. Comment sections exploded with mockery. Fans called Jake the king of failed events. Anger, disappointment, and dark amusement all collided at once as the frustration of the entire community was dumped on Jake's head.
Because he was going to get... Ben never could wrestle. He could never box.
No.
He's a wrestler. Tyron Woodley. I was so sad when Tyron Woodley kept losing to him. I love T. Wood, man.
Analysts said they'd never seen a major fight implode this fast or this publicly. Big events usually fade quietly with excuses and slow leaks. But this one blew up like an explosion in a crowded room. Ticket momentum, sponsor confidence, social media hype, industry trust, gone in minutes. What looked like a giant combat spectacle hours earlier was now rubble.
Some stuff you could do for the entertainment, but then, hey man,
there's a line.
we talked
There's a
about
line to
repercussions,
cross.
bro.
Yeah,
You want to talk
100%.
about somebody's what?
He was a funny shit talker, and then it seemed later in the career it was more almost like forced, like
It
he
got
was
darker.
trying to be
It
the
got
villain.
darker.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Darker.
It's no fun.
Well, it's also you're dealing with people that are dealing with the pressures of being at the top of one of the most dangerous occupations in the world.
Behind the scenes, the chaos was worse. Netflix, the powerhouse backing the event, went into a full-blown crisis spiral. Emergency meetings, frantic calls, panicked internal debates. Jake wasn't just a fighter, he was supposed to be the face of Netflix's new combat sports push. Now he was a liability tied to controversy and ruined hype.
One shot, knockout power. Yeah.
He had that.
This wasn't a simple cancelled event. It was a chain reaction tearing through the entire combat world. Rogan's rant, the lawsuit, the cancellation, the fan uprising, the business panic, every piece collapsed like falling dominoes. The fight didn't just get scrapped. It burned, and it dragged everything around it into the flames. And this was only the beginning of Jake's problems.
Every day when you go to bed, you know there's some dude out there that wants to kick you in the fucking dick.
The storm intensified once the lawsuit hit. Overnight, Gervonta Davis went from feared champion to the most toxic name in boxing. One Miami-Dade court filing sent the event crashing down. The allegations, aggravated battery, kidnapping, violent misconduct, were brutal, specific, and impossible to ignore. Suddenly old arrest videos and past domestic violence incidents resurfaced. The media tore into him. Fans were horrified. A pound-for-pound star instantly became a headline nightmare.
And I think if you were to pause there and ask most people, what do you think he's going to answer? What do you think a fighter would answer to this? We would probably expect things like, you know, I want to prove that I still got it. I want to prove that I could put this YouTuber down.
And then things somehow got worse. Because just as the lawsuit made Tank radioactive, another bomb detonated online, the alleged scripted fight scandal. Rehearsed. Choreographed. Staged.
Any bullshit that it sucks and it's there, but it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but like, it's just like, oh, this has happened before. Thick skin, cool, move on. Like,
It started as whispers, claims of leaked clips showing Jake and Tank practicing exchanges like they were shooting a movie scene. Normally fans would laugh it off, but this time the rumors snowballed. The timing was too suspicious. The lawsuit drops, the fight dies, and suddenly staged footage appears like gasoline thrown onto the fire.
60 years old.
Right.
I want Jake Paul to fight guys that
He said he wants to fight Canelo.
Canelo fights 154 or 160. That's one of his best weights. He'll fight heavier, Kieran.
And of course, Joe Rogan jumped on it. He discussed the disturbing rumors on his podcast, saying trusted sources told him something felt off. When Rogan raises a red flag, fans react like it's national news. Comment sections erupted. Was this scripted?
Watching how calm, like genuinely calm he was. I'm like, this guy just, and Dana said it best. He's like, he eats pressure. He just eats it. He likes it. He wants it to be chaos. It's got a guy say that.
Then more voices joined the chaos. Daniel Cormier, Dana White, even Tank's coach Calvin Ford questioned Netflix's involvement. They all hated the idea of a mega fight being treated like a content product. Everyone kept mentioning Netflix's push for creative control, as if a streaming service should influence the pace or moments of a real fight. Since when do producers get to shape the action in the ring?
And I was like, T. Woods, like,
Well, you don't see the butt that look. You don't see them punches, bro. That's not what.
that's not what we do. I can't box these guys.
No.
Jake Paul tried to mess with me for a while. Until I went up to him in Orlando. I said, I don't play like these kids.
Because if even half the rumors were true, rehearsed sequences, controlled pacing, creative influence, then the collapse wasn't accidental. It was necessary. The sport protecting itself from a scandal that would have haunted it for decades. The fight didn't die from one scandal. It died because the darkness around it became too big, too ugly, and too undeniable.
One of the most feared punchers in the sport of boxing. He's got a 93% knockout percentage. That's one of the best among current world champions.
And Rogan made sure everyone remembered that he warned them long before the chaos hit. He wasn't speculating, he was practically shouting that Jake Paul had signed himself up for a death mission disguised as a super fight. To Rogan, Tank Davis wasn't small, he was compact destruction, a silent grenade built to end careers.
This fight was produced by Jake Paul's company, MVP, Most Valuable Promotions. And he worked with Netflix to produce this event. And I think that's an important detail. So at some point, him or someone on his team.
Anytime Jake bragged about the size difference, Rogan shut it down. Tank's entire career is built on destroying bigger men. Rogan explained it perfectly. Tank doesn't rush, he calculates. He waits. He pulls opponents into comfort and then detonates them. One mistake and the lights go out.
He has made a significant impact on the sport of boxing. He has certainly brought new eyes to the sport. He's done so much in uplifting women's boxing.
Rogan's warning stayed the same. Jake wasn't fighting a champion, he was fighting a specialist in shutting off consciousness. Every expert agreed. Tank could knock Jake out with a 20 to 30 pound disadvantage. Normal fighters rely on size. Tank relies on timing and freakish power that looks unreal even in slow motion.
I never let myself go there. You know, I'm a fierce competitor.
Tank's team is now fighting back, and they're stating that Netflix did not in fact cancel the bout.
Meanwhile, Jake was stuck in his YouTube Kid Becomes Legend fantasy. Rogan tried to snap him back to reality. He told Jake outright that beating influencers, retired fighters, and MMA veterans does not prepare you for a pound-for-pound knockout artist. The matchup made the sport look like a circus, and Jake was the ringmaster juggling gasoline. Tank wasn't coming to compete, he was coming to demolish. The cancellation was nothing compared to the war that broke out afterward.
He has made a significant impact on the sport of boxing. He has certainly brought new eyes to the sport. He's done so much in uplifting women's boxing.
Jake Paul spiraled. One moment he posted a furious rant accusing people of sabotaging him. Minutes later, it vanished. Then came cryptic posts, then emotional videos, then more deletions. It wasn't promotion, it was a meltdown. Fans screenshot everything. Tank saw it and attacked online, calling Jake a coward, a liar, and an opportunist hiding behind lawyers. It wasn't trash talk, it was surgical character destruction.
Ring Magazine. Jake Paul admits he's scared and losing sleep over a Gervonta Davis fight.
Fans erupted into chaos. One side said Jake was a clout-chasing product built by corporations. The other said Tank was a violent time bomb who shouldn't be in the sport. In the middle stood Rogan, suddenly treated like a prophet. Media outlets feasted on the drama. Talk shows roasted Jake. Analysts broke down Tank's insults like they were studying film. Podcasts replayed his deleted posts like dramatic episodes. The aftermath became bigger than the actual fight ever could have been.
I mean, what more do you want to know? Boxing has always been an insane and crazy game.
Netflix took a direct hit. Millions invested into ads, production, global marketing, all gone. And leaks suggested Netflix wanted the fight to be more cinematic, which only fueled suspicions that the event was drifting towards scripted entertainment. Executives scrambled to salvage the situation. Names flew. One rumor was Jake versus Anthony Joshua. Rogan called the idea career suicide. Stepping into the ring with Joshua unprepared is basically volunteering to get flattened on camera. MVP tried to reassure fans Jake would return in 2025, but trust was already shattered. People wondered if anything about the promotion had ever been real.
You're fighting guys that are real strikers.
Then came the ripple effect. Jake Paul, once seen as untouchable in the crossover world, suffered the biggest credibility collapse of his career. Rogan didn't critique him, he dismantled him. Fans watched Jake shift from controversial star to a man who can't keep a fight alive without chaos. Tank Davis faced the opposite nightmare. He went from elite boxer to legal disaster, his legacy threatened by charges that could freeze his career entirely. Even if the dust settles, insiders doubt major promoters will trust him again.
Anybody that's an elite wrestler yet. You know, I mean, think about who has he fought that could really wrestle. Prohaska is like a...
Through all the chaos, Rogan became the only voice people believed. Brutally honest, unfiltered, and fearless. He became the sport's unofficial compass as it spiraled into absurdity. And the darkest cloud of all hovered over Netflix, their creative meddling, their obsession with cinematic spectacle over real sport. Boxing insiders fear this sets a terrifying precedent, fights becoming content, not competition. The Jake Paul versus Tank Davis meltdown will echo for years. A reminder that sometimes the biggest knockout doesn't happen in the ring, it happens when the entire system collapses around it.
That's crazy. I mean, if he's going to prepare, he needs like a real long camp to really get his body back to fighting shape, like real fighting shape.